Yes, my people, welcome back. Incognito Podcast. I'm TT.
PH.
S. And we're back again for another podcast episode 39. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on the gram. And let's keep going up. Road to 1K.
Come on.
You know the vibes. But yeah, how's the week been? What's going on? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, man, it's been good, innit?
Yeah, long week, man, tiring, but
Long
at the end of it, we made it.
That's all that matters, fam. If you make it to the end of the week, that's a blessing in itself.
Word.
I'm saying, make sure you count your blessings.
You gotta be consistent regardless, man.
Trust me.
No matter how tiring it gets, you gotta keep going.
Okay.
Consistency really.
We dropping these gems
Oh,
in
man,
your head
he
top.
hates today, you know what I'm saying?
So you're right, dropping some gems for my Incognito listeners, you get me?
It's only right. Like, comment, subscribe.
That's why you lot need to tune in every time, because we always have like real shit to tell you, innit? You get me?
That shit is insightful.
Trust
You
me.
might learn a thing or two.
Okay, real value to add, you know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Okay, would you like to be loved for being fake or hated for being real?
Oh, for being fake. Hate for being
Good question.
That's
Question.
some bastard shit.
Come on, bro. Why it's not going? Let's restart.
I think
That's 1K. That would be the special.
it depends on the context, innit? But in a
Let's
case,
start on a personal level.
yeah, on a personal level, I'd rather be hated for who I am than to be loved for someone else.
100.
That's what I'm saying,
Facts,
because,
bro.
bro, if you're not able to be yourself, then really and truly, you can never be free. That's what I'm saying.
You're basically your own prisoner.
You're living a lie.
Literally. You're always trying to please people, you're always trying to be someone that you're not truly. You even go against your own values and morals just to like follow the trends and just to fit in, bro.
Please others, innit?
You know what I'm saying? That's not the way of life, bro.
Okay.
I'd rather even be poor than to be in a situation like that, bro. Because
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. That's why most of these celebrities end up committing suicide and are depressed and always complaining on social media and whatnot, because they feel like they have to meet a certain
Facts.
criteria
Facade,
exactly to stay successful. I think Will Smith's a good example of that, because he said a couple of times. I watched an interview of him on the Breakfast Club a while ago, and he was talking about how like he's reached a point in his life where he's successful, but he didn't feel he didn't really feel like people knew him for who he really was, innit? Exactly. We all had a certain vision of him, a certain image of him, which he may not have really been in it. And I feel like now he's really showing his true personality, and a lot of people are not like him.
Hey, if you want to see us talk about that, go check out. What episode was it? Just check what episode.
That's
We're
the
gonna link
thing.
it down below, innit?
Yes,
You get me? Check that out. But like I was saying, like that's the thing. Like ever since he's been really talking more about his personal life.
So you even released a book, innit? You released a book.
He did. That's what I'm saying. People they're not liking it. But that's the price to pay if you really want to be yourself.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
That's really the price to pay, bro. Like we might not rate him as much, but maybe he feels freer now. He feels happier. He doesn't need to pretend anymore. You get me? He's just himself. And you know, the reality of life is not everyone's perfect, and everyone goes through their peripeties and troubles. And
that's a big word. What's that? Peripeties and what is that?
That's my French kicking in. I don't even know if it means something in English, but everyone goes through the struggles basically. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts, 100%. But yeah, man, literally, would I rather be loved, being fake, or real and hated? Real and hated, innit? Because back to what Peter said, whether you're fake or not, everyone's gonna like you. So you might as well just go out as you, fam. Because regardless of who you are, who you try and be, someone's not gonna like you. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And back to the fame thing. That's why a lot of them, they don't like fame, innit? Because like they feel like they gotta be perfect. They gotta look perfect, especially women. They feel like they gotta look perfect every time the camera's on them.
Exactly.
So I think it depends who you are, innit? Like how like. I think there's plenty of examples of people who are famous, but just keep it real, innit?
Give a few.
Like for example,
Alicia Keys.
Off the top of my head, my head's
But don't you think
even like people, for example, like I'm not talking about crazy things. For example, I feel like Chunks and these man, like, you can tell they're just.
Yeah, they're
just them in it, like
Yeah,
even the way
true.
when they're on Snap or Instagram or whatever, you can just tell they're just having
Yeah,
fun with it. You know what I
That's
mean?
the
Not-
best way to be.
You know what I mean?
What do you think stops people from being their true selves though? And like, how can they just overcome that
I
shit?
think when you get to like a certain level, like whether you like it or not, you're gonna have a big team behind you. They're gonna have shit in your ear like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Like you're literally almost robotic. Like all of these people are media trained. Like you don't show no
It's
personality.
mad as well because you can tell when someone's media trained.
Yeah.
You can tell.
But that's the thing.
It's mad.
Eventually, you end up being a product. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like, when you first start off, you're your own man, innit? That's what I'm saying. You do your own thing. But as you grow and you start having a team behind you, like S was saying, there's more expectations like on you, innit? And that's when you start feeling like you need to overdo it and you need to do certain things which you wouldn't normally do, innit?
100%. But that's why a lot of them prefer, the start or the middle of the journey to the end, because that's when they could really be themselves and have full control over their art. As they get bigger and bigger. But it comes with the territory, innit? Everything's got its pros and cons. You just need to know how to work around it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think we touched on that one. Moving on. How smart do you have to be rich? Comment down below.
How smart is it to be rich? I think with this kind of question, I think there's different kind of smarts. There's like general smart and like book smart, innit?
Facts.
I think I saw maybe it was
I
like
distinguish the two
recently.
for people that don't know.
Book smart is like education wise, isn't it? Like, you know what 2 + 2, not literally 2 + 2, but you're good at your academia shit. Like general smart or whatever, street smart, whatever, like you have a good entrepreneurial mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you know your shit around the
You know
world.
about
innit?
the real world.
Yeah, you know about the real world.
It's more than books.
And I think I saw an Instagram post maybe a couple months ago saying how most of these extremely smart guys, they don't like end up being rich because you're so smart, you're gonna end up going to university, top unis.
Yeah, you don't do your own thing.
You're gonna get this top degree. You're gonna end up working for someone.
Yeah.
Like look at all these graduates from Cambridge, whatever, Harvard, etc. They all end up working for someone who was probably a university dropout or.
Trust me, bro. What's the saying that the A's work for the C's?
It's so much like
literally true.
All that knowledge, it's still limited because. Like,
they don't think outside
straight
the
path,
box.
innit? All they see is that one path.
Exactly. They don't think outside the box. Whereas people who may not be as intellectual when it comes to books and science and all these things.
More the creative side.
Yeah, they're more creative. They're more free, like in their heads, innit? And they're more willing to try different things.
Exactly.
And that's how they may end up trying something which eventually becomes big. And even if they don't have that knowledge and that intelligence, that's when they start hiring people who do have that intelligence and who they go to university.
And that's when the A works for C.
Exactly, bro. It's not about it's not really about what you know. It's more about like how you what you do with that information, really and truly. You know what I'm saying?
And how to maneuver in life, well, that's more important than passing the test. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But you guys, we say it's better to know than to not know. Because you see, for example, the smart people, they know so much, so that kind of blocks their creative side of taking risks because they know how it could play out in so many ways. So would you say in some instances better not to know than to know?
That's a good question. I feel like you could have both, but
explain.
Just to answer the question you're asking specifically, is it better to know that in some situations, I feel like
let's give context as well.
It's a deep question still.
Because ignorance is bliss. At the same time, you need to know certain shit. You know what I'm saying?
Me personally, I'd rather know it.
Everything.
I'd rather know, because I don't know, it's just good to be aware of things and you have more access to just different things when you have knowledge, innit? For example, you can have conversations with anyone and everyone because obviously you know about different things, innit?
You know how to move.
You know what I'm saying? You can really go to different places and still feel comfortable. So that's a good thing, man.
Okay, what about you? Do you agree or?
I think
better to know or not know?
it depends on who you are as a person. And there's some people who can
Balance.
They can know, they're able to balance it. Like, they can know everything and still act upon what they want to act upon. You know what I mean? And there's some people who, if they know too much, that shit's just like
Overthink.
they can't
act.
process it. You know what I mean? It's depending on who you are as a person, innit? You have to know yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
So back to the original question, you're basically saying that it's the street smart. That's the smart. That's the intellect. You need to be wealthy. I agree as well.
Yeah.
It's not really books. It's not really the algebra A plus B.
That helps. That can help. I'm not gonna lie. Especially
It's
if you have both.
It's a gateway.
You're eating, innit?
You need both, really and truly. You know, you always need balance in life, bro. Like you need a bit of both, bro. You get like if you're just street smart, there's certain things which you won't be able to do because
Limited.
Yeah, you're limited. Like everything requires some level of intelligence, innit? That's what I'm saying. Same way, if you're too intelligent but not streetwise, you'll be there and someone will use you, innit? That's what I'm saying. They'll use your intelligence.
For the C.
Literally.
Happens all the time. It's happening today.
The best way is just combine both.
No cap. But I was just saying that for the people that, you know, especially in our culture, the people that ain't good in school, kind of seen as the write-offs. But it's like, bro, you could be street smart, still make a name for yourself as well. But try to get a bit of both, man, so you can enjoy both sides.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But just to go back to our the first question, which was, is it better to be real and hated for it, or to be fake and loved for it? I feel like this, we can contextualize it, and basically, in a situation where you're maybe creating a business, I feel like you could be fake, to some extent. Obviously, I don't like using the word fake.
Explain your fake though.
Alright, so you might see.
Is it fake? You mean fake or like not original?
Not original. So you might find like a gap in the market which you're not particularly interested in, but because you know people are interested in it, you're gonna make your business about whatever that thing is, isn't it? You're not being, in that case, you're not being like
genuine.
Nah, it's nothing that. You're not being fake to yourself. Like, I don't feel like you're being fake.
You're not, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That's smart, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
everyone's got to eat,
bro. It might not be what really interests you, but it's still intelligent because you know that's what people
demand supply.
You get me? So depends. There's times when I feel like
see something working, just tweak it.
It's good to be.
Of course, bro. I feel
You
like
don't
that's
always
good
have to be
business.
original. You don't always have to like.
Bro.
Don't always don't be narrow-minded and only feel like when you don't like something, it's wrong. That's what I'm saying. You need to try and.
Talking about being open-minded.
No, not even that, bro. I'm talking business-wise, like. You know what I'm saying? You can't just think about your own opinion.
Just because you don't like something, you have to look at the masses.
Exactly.
If the masses like
what's
it,
needed?
there's-
Facts. What does the market need? What does it want?
you have to have like an entrepreneurial mindset for that. Like,
That's what I'm saying, bro.
it's beyond yourself, like, you know what I mean?
Because if you want to be too real, you could say, nah, that doesn't interest me, so I'm not gonna capitalize off it. You know what I'm saying?
I know what
But
you're
that
saying.
could also work, like, depending on, like, say if you're,
It could also work, true.
as in like, if you're too busy or whatever, and you know, like, in order for you to put your time and effort into it, you're gonna have to like it because you have all the responsibilities, etc. Yeah, you won't pursue it. But if you have time for it and you see,
it depends what your business is, isn't it?
Exactly.
Depends what it is,
bro. How much you care about, but no, literally what you man are saying is like business is formulas, not feelings, isn't it? It's not really about how you feel about it. It's like, yo, it's the demand, supply. Me the two ends to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
But even come back to that same question. You know when you're when someone's like faking their persona or whatever, I think like all the time after a while that's gonna come out. Like, you're gonna see the
trust
real
me, you can only do that for so long. Bro.
Even like in relationship, the same shit. Like
that's how most of them don't last.
Like someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And you're both lying to each other.
When you end up like, obviously during the day when you're dating, you can't really. You're only spending a couple of hours with them, so but say if you end up living with them or traveling with them, etc. Bro,
so you see the real them, fam.
Will come out, you know what I mean?
100%.
And the same thing with
and you see the real you, fam.
If you be fake, that shit is gonna come out.
There's nothing more embarrassing than being in a situation where people realize you've been pretending to be someone you're not. You get me?
Trust me, bro. Like we know a couple guys that own penthouses and that, but We're not gonna get into that. Moving on. Well, back to the business thing about the faking. I don't even think it's like faking out terms. It's just like everyone can be inspired. Everyone's inspired by something. I'm inspiring someone's inspired by me. So if you see a product that could get tweaking,
do that shit, execute, make your money.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, man.
Last but not least, let's take away from no, I can't see right.
So the last sort of bit. So does your plan B reduce your desire to get that plan A?
That was a great question.
I agree with that.
Does your plan B reduce your chance to get plan A? Facts. Because I feel like, in a way, you'll be comfortable in it. Because you know that you have another option if plan A don't work. But in today's society, like plan A is going to take longer to yield. And as guys, bro, you need to provide, you need to have peace. So you're going to have a plan B while that plan A is like still being in fruition. It just is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like you could have both, but your plan B could be what you do in the worst case scenario. Do you know what I'm saying? So if your plan B is a plan which you only like take when you're
like, it won't be the same level.
Like, you know,
it won't be like either being a footballer or basketball. It'll be like footballer or something like.
Do you know what I'm saying? So in that case, your attention is still gonna be on plan A, innit? And it's only if really and truly you're in a situation where there's no way you're gonna be able to achieve your goals. Then you start looking at plan B. Do you know what I'm saying? That way, you have a plan A and a plan B, basically. That's my plan.
Bro. And today's side, you gotta be smart in it because, bro, the plan A could take years to yield. We're gonna do in the meantime, you know what I'm saying? So, you gotta see it from both sides.
But I think, you know, when talking about your plan A taking time to yield, you know how more time when people are waiting for their plan A and they're doing something on the side, like a job or something, I think that's still part of the plan A though, because more time, you need capital to fund that part A. So that's still part of the plan. It's the same plan, you know what I mean?
Bro. You need a capital to fund
I'll say like stuff like, for example, I'll just give it's the easy example, like football, for example. People like, what I usually hear is people either want to be a footballer or their plan B is school. I think that shit is too close. Like, that's definitely gonna stop your desire.
Explain.
Because, for example, to be a footballer, you need to train like 5 days a week. You can't do that and school at the same time. You know what I mean? Like that's just you're gonna lack in one of them. Like you don't have a choice unless you're an absolute genius and don't need to study. And you know what I mean? Like more time you're gonna.
That's only a few people.
One of the others gonna end up lacking.
But you say if there's a kid in that situation, what would you advise though? Because say if he does put his whole life into football, and you don't make it,
young,
what the fuck is he gonna fall back on?
Like how old? What kid are you talking about?
Like what age would you say? If you're not signed, if you're not scouted, quite off.
Bro, if you're not if you're more time, if you're not in the academy by like 14.
18.
No, in the academy. If you're not in the academy by 18, you have to be breaking into the first team. If you're not in the academy by 14,
you better listen to us. Don't waste your time, fam. Like
it's majority. But if you know you got the skill set and you know you're like determined and you have the willpower, bro, go for it. Put your 100 inside.
Don't let no one tell you no. Even
there's no point of doing something that your parents want you to do. Because at the end of the time, you're going to be doing that job for 20, 30 years. Not them. You're going to be sitting in the office bored.
Or resentful and shit.
Or you could have been in the pitch with Rainbow Flicks.
That's it. We'll take a picture of groupies and that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is.
But yeah, man, this was another good podcast episode 39. You guys let us know how you feel about this one in the comments. Also, what's your answer to the questions? Comment down below. Road to 1K. See you next week.